Are you shooting videos, or maybe you're thinking about shooting videos for an online show, and you just aren't sure if you have the confidence yet to really put yourself out there, or you want to improve that confidence in what you look like on camera? So today I've got Yasmin Nguyen with us, and he's going to share how he makes his subjects a little more comfortable on video, and you'll be able to apply some of that to your videos. Great. Well, let's hop right in. So, Yasmin, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your business.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Brighton, for having me. My name is Yasmin Nguyen, and I am the founder and CEO of Vibrance Global, where we help experts, entrepreneurs, and businesses exude more confidence, emotionally connect, and establish more credibility with using videos. And uh, and Vibrance is really about that moment when you are having a conversation with someone and you totally connect and you're opening up and you're passionate and there's just this awesome dynamic going on. Well, that moment is what we call the moment of vibrance. And what we specialize in is to be able to help bring out that special moment and then use video as a tool to be able to capture and share that special moment so that we can share insights and inspire people to take action and connect with us.
Well, very good. I like that. I think online video is great at that, but maybe I could have you dig a little deeper and tell me why you think online video is so good at making those connections.
Well, video has really become a de facto standard these days, especially when we are contacted and reaching people without physically meeting them in person. And I think as a business or potentially specifically a coach, video is one of those ways for you to really emotionally connect with someone, and also to be able to help qualify the right type of person as well. Because when someone experiences you on video, it's like actually experience you in real life. And it allows you for that person to say, hey, I really resonate with this person, or you know what, I don't really connect, and for them to be able to move on. The other part why video is so important these days is that there is so much information out there. In fact, it's becoming a commodity, and anybody can search and find information. However, when you're able to deliver that information with confidence, you are associating that expertise, that information with yourself. So now you're positioning yourself as that expert that then allows someone else to say, wow, this is someone that I would trust as my advisor. And so that's why video is so important, because it's a powerful tool that allows you to do so many of those different elements simultaneously through your words, through your body language, through your message, and it's such an efficient tool to be able to reach so many people.
Wonderful. I completely agree with that. So maybe you could share with us a tip to like help people feel more comfortable on video. You do a lot of interviews with people.
Mhm.
I want interview tips too, but let's start with just something you would tell your subject to kind of make them feel comfortable in front of the camera.
Absolutely. Well, when it comes to interviewing, I actually teach a whole mastery class on that. But as far as specific tips, I think one of the most powerful things that I share is, first of all, is to take away that word interview. When we think about interview, we think about I'm interviewing for a job, or I'm interviewing for, school, or something. And in that mindset, when we think about interview, there's this evaluation. We're being judged. So there's a right and there's a wrong answer. And so what happens is we tend to close up because we're afraid to open up and share and express, because we feel like there's some that we might say or do something that's wrong. So what we want to do is we want to shift that framework of thinking of an interview as something that we're being evaluated to. It's an opportunity to give. So for example, if you're asking someone to do an interview, you may invite them and saying, hey, you know what? I love the work that you do. You have such amazing insights. Could we share some time together so that I can learn more and share with others and help, elevate them or help inspire them as well. See, now what we've done is we've created an opportunity for them to give rather than to be able to, justify.
Hmm.
So that is a key component, is thinking of it in a different context. The other way is to elevate our quality of the questions that we ask. And by doing so, what we're doing is instead of focusing on the facts, again, trying to get out the right facts, we're trying to dig deeper for the actual reason. So, for example, some of the interview questions here is instead of tell me instead of saying what's your business, or who are you, that sounds like, well, tell me, I have to defend or justify or prove myself. Now, if we were to shift it and say, well, tell me a little bit more about your business, who you help, how you do so, and why that's important to you. You see that subtle difference? It's an
Mhm.
opportunity to be able to just share them. Another one is like, for example, if you want to ask for some tips, so instead of, can you give me some tips? Ask something like, from your experience working with, let's say, dozens of clients, what strategies have made the most difference for them? So now what we're doing is we're recognizing that they're the expert, and we're also asking them, hey, what really works well then? And so these are subtle changes, but that dynamic, the way that you create that question and also think about that experience is you're creating that connection, that conversation, rather than I'm going to ask you questions and you answer then.
Very good. That's great. And I'm gonna. So my next interview will just be a little bit better, based on Yasmin's
Oh,
suggestions. I didn't want to call them tips. Um,
agreed.
but um, so one question I have is like, I mean, you're a professional. Do you have a studio that you record in? What does that look like? What is kind of like maybe that starting bar for someone, even if they're not working with a professional? What is kind of that beginning of what they need?
Absolutely. What you need is just a decent camera. I mean, for me, I've got access to a number of different studios, but a lot of my clients fly me out to their locations and we work together. We also work remotely as well. But for someone who's just getting started, I mean, you just, equipment wise, you just make sure you have great audio and you've got a decent camera and just good lighting. I mean, right now, as far as where we are, the light's just coming out from a window. I don't have any additional lights set up. And so, that's the main thing. Not to focus so much on the equipment and the mechanics, but really focus more on the messaging and the content.
Yeah, and I think that's great. One thing I want to mention, I mean, clearly you're there to draw out of people that content. But if people think about that content before they start talking, before they start talking to the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and really plan out and really think intentionally
Hmm.
about, what they want to tell the audience, I think that's pretty valuable too. So how about with people who are kind of new, either to being interviewed or to working with video? Um, have you seen like struggles that novices might have, and maybe how you can help them get over that?
Absolutely. I think the biggest struggle that novices have first is not being clear on the intention of the video. They focus on, oh, I've got to do a video, and then they get into the mechanics, but they don't think about what is the desired outcome? What's that call to action? What is the purpose of that video? And once you start with that purpose, now you can go back and you can design the sequences that lead to that end purpose. And so there's too much focus again on the mechanics, on what type of equipment and things. And then the other part is establishing that connection. Not only connection with your audience, but connection with yourself, connection with why what you're doing matters. Because once you do connect with yourself, that's when your confidence starts to come out. And then connection with your message determines what's the relevance with your audience, so that they actually care. Because if you don't establish that relevance with that audience, they're looking for every excuse to be able to check out. They can say, "Wow, okay, that doesn't apply to me. That doesn't matter. I don't believe this," and then they're clicking somewhere else. And so you've got to focus on those other elements in addition to the mechanics. The mechanics then allow you to capture that and then also to establish some credibility with the quality. But there's more tolerance and leeway for the quality rather than the message and your confidence.
Yes, I can't agree more. That is wonderful. I'm actually building a class right now to teach people how to do their online video, and I cover like how to record it first, and then how to edit it and how to upload it, all the technical stuff, and
Right.
then we get into if they've made it that far, we start to talk about content because it's I mean it's the basics, but it's also a little bit more advanced. It's the things that people aren't
Mhm.
thinking about, but they really have to think about what you need to get across to your audience or what your audience wants to get from you. Um,
Absolutely.
so how about this? Could you tell us you have a resource or something, either a website or a book or something that would be perfect for people looking to improve their presence online?
Yeah, there's so many resources online, and I think that's one of the challenges is to distill it down to which ones are the most relevant. For me, a couple of things, tools and resources wise, I love Wistia, wistia.com. They're a great platform to host your videos, but they've got lots of great training videos on just basics in terms of setting up your cameras and lights and other things like that. So it's a good, foundation. The other is James Wedmore. He's a video marketing expert. He's got lots of content online as well as a number of different programs. And then the third one is Real SEO, REEL SEO. They're a great resource to be able to keep up with the latest trends on what's going on in the video marketing, SEO, lots of great strategies and trainings. So I would say those are three key starting, resources to check out.
Those are perfect. I was just talking about James and about Real SEO this morning, so they're definitely at the top of my mind. Great. Well, you said you do travel. So if someone says, you know what, I want Yasmin to come and help me tell my story, how can people get in touch with you, or what resources do you have that they can kind of connect with you?
Absolutely. So the best way to connect with me is through my website, vibranceglobal.com. And on there, you'll find the different ways in which we help our clients. One of the first is we do a 60-minute video assessment and marketing strategy where we'll go through and look at your videos and give you some key pointers and strategies to be able to just, dial it in, click it up a notch so that you can be more effective in terms of your engagement and responses. I'm also building a 6-week video confidence bootcamp that's coming up. So as soon as that's ready, it's really going to be an opportunity for a small group of people to be able to get together, practice, start building that muscle, that confidence muscle, as well as having the support and the strategies that I teach my one-on-one clients. There's also, for clients who are local or remote, there's the studio setup then. So a lot of times people are looking to set up their studios at home, and so I can coach and guide them through that process so that now we're able to produce higher quality videos on your own. And then to support that, we also provide video editing services. So you can film your own, and then we'll do the editing. And then for the clients that I work one-on-one with, they're typically bigger productions, and they have budgets, around the 5,000 and up type of range. So there's a variety of different ways that I can support, and got a number of different strategies and tips that are coming out on my website as well.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely link to your website down in the description below. But that pretty much wraps it up for our interview today. I'm excited to get back to this interview format.
Yeah.
Some of you who've watched this over time knew I was doing interviews, and I went back, was doing more how-tos. But now what I'm doing is trying to bring people to you who are in the video world, either they're practicing as a coach and they're using video, or someone like Yasmin who's kind of offering tips. So we'll be having lots more of this. And of course, if you want to keep seeing this stuff, click the subscribe button. You'll be able to catch this every single week. I've got content coming at you. But for right now, I want to say thank you to Yasmin, and it was great. Thank you so much for all the information you provided. And Yasmin, I'm sure I'll see you around. We're both here in Portland.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Brighton, for the opportunity.